haven't filmed an update on the Vanagon in a while, so I'm not going to do a comprehensive video. It's just so much work. But I wanted to kind of tell you the next project, which was the redoing the fuel lines in the front and the expansion tank. And I thought to myself, how bad could it be? I was still smelling gas in the garage when the thing was shut. It wasn't strong, but it was just ever so slightly. So this is what was one of the gaskets to the expansion tank. You could see was completely just disintegrated, falling apart, wasn't really sealing anything. And the fuel line, now that I'd kind of cut off to loosen it, which was pretty tough. But yeah, and then of course a little bit of whatever debris that is. So that's what was around the little circle thing there. And so I'm just in the early stages, and here's what the current thing looks like. So I just sprayed and cleaned a little bit here to get all that off. I still have to do the other side. Then we're going to lower the tank, and I have the strap. So there are a lot of videos online, so that's why I was like, I don't necessarily need to do another version of it. But, you know, just take care when you do this. Be careful. I also have a box under there initially to support. I've undone one strap. Undoing the straps is pretty easy. Metal support straps. Here's one, already hosed this one off. The one thing, as people did state, like at the end here, these typically are bent down more. And what's funny is, like on Go Westy's site, or Go Westy's video, they show you a guy with a lift, right? It's so much easier to work on a car with a lift, but oh well. Anyway, when you don't, you do have to flare these up a bit to get it out. And then I went with Van Cafe's version, which has the aluminum crossover line. So I'm hoping this is good. One would think better than plastic. And then a new fuel sending unit, which I'll get in there. And then there's the excess gas. So that's always the stressful part. So I've already disconnected the battery. I've loosened this guy here. As you know from my video, by the way, when I opened this up, it only smelled like rubber. There was no gas smell. So definitely the fix that I put in has worked well. And now you have a nice gap there between the fuel rail and one of the hoses. So this is good. Now on the passenger side, I need to remove this expansion tank and do the same thing. And I'm also trying to take care. One thing some of the videos aren't getting into, it's like, once you pull these lines and pull the tank, I don't know, I'm just worried I'm gonna get confused on which line is which. So this is a typical Vanagon fuel line, but then there's more of a kind of a harder plastic line here. So I put a green tie strap on the front of it. So that kind of reminds me when I pull this thing, which one is which. So got that going on. And then down in there is the fuel tank. And then of course the filler neck, which I need to remove. So got to remove this guy, the full filler neck. The filler neck breather hose was the biggest problem I ran into. It isn't as easy as they show on some of the videos where you just like pull it out while the tank is still in there. Mine didn't come out that way. I had to remove the tank. I kind of lowered the tank and spun it out in a way so that filler neck tube breather hose kind of came down and around. So you are able to do that. So just so you know, and then I could like really pull it off, but you had to yank on it. It took a lot of pressure, and it's understandable because those pieces, you want them to be well placed in there so that no gas vapor is coming out. Completely makes sense. But it isn't as easy as just reaching in and popping it off, just so everybody's clear. So that's one fun fact. Another tip would be putting it back up. And I'll show you a picture of what happened to me, and you cannot see it easily. So that's the really tricky part.
Okay, this is passenger side. Sorry, driver side. Driver side. And it's threaded underneath this thing over that whole section. And then to there. It's over that section. And then it needs to go up that way. And then I'm going to pull this. This is the forward green zip tie. I'm going to pull this way. Okay, I think we're
What's frustrating is this piece right here. You can see where the hose, that filler neck breather hose, is crimped on some sort of, I think that's an electrical line or something. So as I'm propping the tank up, you can see there where the gaskets like lodged into the tank. So it's kind of bent. So everything worked really well. This was really the last piece, and it hurts so badly because the next day I was like, man, I'm smelling gas like worse than before. So it's like I'm going backwards. Anyway, um, so a tip for you when you're cranking that thing up, make sure that filler neck, if you did like I did, and I didn't put mine in until, or I put mine in with the tank. So it was just easier. You have free clearance. I didn't like wedge it down in there where you can't see well. I mean, so I don't know. That was the way I did it, but I paid the price by this happening. Then I had went to go fill it up with gas, and that was a mistake because then I had a full tank of gas on top of this thing happening. So just don't do that. I'm going to hopefully save somebody some pain and anguish. Um, don't do that. So definitely when you prop up and install the tank again, make sure that that breather hose, if you did like I did, where you install it beforehand, make sure it doesn't get crimped down in there as a nice clear path. I thought I did have one, but so what I recommend is like putting a cell phone down in there too, like afterwards, and just making sure that it's truly has a clean path and flow, that you didn't do anything like that. Because had I just done that correctly, that would have been it. But instead, no, the story goes on. So I had to take it down. I got it towed down to through AAA. By the way, if you own a Vanagon, get yourself the gold premium where they tow it 150 miles for free. So that didn't cost me anything. So took it to Arturo and Costa Mesa Transmission. Thank you guys. You did an amazing job. They fixed the thing, and they have a lift and all that. So it's way easier. They just boop, popped it out, fixed it, and it was like an hour of time. But this is so frustrating to do so much work and prep and that one little piece. So just take care, make sure you know. But that was about it. The rest of it was pretty straightforward. Putting it all back together wasn't hard. It's just stressful working with gasoline in general. Just like what I did the video with the engine bay one. That one actually turned out really well. I did all of that, worked perfectly. There were no mistakes, but you can see everything. This is so hard because you cannot see the lines very well. So the things that definitely worked well were, I highly recommend putting those little zip ties on the front of the overfill tanks for those hoses. There are so many gas lines on the Vanagon. I just had no idea. But when you really like go deep on it and understand it all, it's just the weirdest design. Um, so yeah, that explains why you see a lot of flaming Vanagons, I guess, on the sides of roads sometimes, or you see a lot of pictures on the internet about that. But that was my experience. Hopefully, this helps you. Again, not much scary stuff, kind of undoing it, kind of, it's a little hard. I definitely recommend for putting on the gaskets. The Go Westy video I thought was really good because they use that white lithium grease for the gaskets to make them easier. I did the same thing. Just wear gloves. Also, throughout the entire thing, I wore a respirator. Do it in a well ventilated area with a respirator. You should definitely always have a respirator on because there's a lot of gasoline smell going on. It's just the nature of the beast. Um, would I do it again? I mean, in a way, yeah, because at least when you're doing it, you know what you're doing. If somebody else does it, they just kind of, I don't know, sometimes you kind of feel like, are they really taking care to do it the right way? Or they're just kind of like slapping it in there. I don't know. But ultimately, look what happened to me. So, Anyway, that's my little monologue, I guess, on this whole thing. I didn't want to do like a really super deep video with all the editing, and it's a lot of work, but also there's a lot of other really good videos out there on it already. I just kind of wanted to add my spin and things that benefited me towards the end in the learning experience. So um, don't be afraid to let someone else help you or get a friend to help you. I did this all on my own. You can do it yourself. Just be super, super careful. It's totally on you, not me. So um, hope this helps you. Thank you. Take care. Bye.